as well. Sweet. All right, guys. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I think that's what I'll title this. I don't really have anybody to call on the phone tonight, so I figured I'd just go on, talk a little bit about what we've seen the last few days, this weekend coming up. Let's start off with outdoor motocross. Outdoor motocross actually starts this weekend, and I'm pretty pumped. It starts in Matterley Basin, of all places, in Europe, in Great Britain. So much better than that whatever the track was the last couple of years they've been starting at outdoors. It's just, oh my God, don't even get me going. The way that outdoor motocross and the MXGPs, half the tracks are still old school. The other half are like this, man-made combination between Supercross and whatever. So, oh, here comes John. She's gonna bark a little bit, but anyway. So, yeah, I mean, Matterley Basin is like this old school, legendary track that it's just gonna be. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good kickoff to the MXGP season and the outdoor motocross. I can't wait. And that's going to be on TV. It's supposed to be on MXGP TV, but I'm sure it's going to be on CBS Sports like it always is. I haven't seen the channel lineup for it yet, but they're racing on Sunday. Tomorrow's qualifiers all day. And while we're on that subject, I know a lot of you guys might have been watching and saw that I shared all the posts about the gas bikes. Yes, the gas bikes are KTM's. KTM, I believe, bought into them. They are red bikes, and a lot of people are, from what I see in the post, are some negative, about it, like, oh, come on, it's just a red KTM, it's this, it's that. Well, yeah, you know what? That's true. When Huskies were purchased by KTM, they were just white KTMs. But after a couple of years, they developed their own brand image. I mean, now they got different parts on them. They have different systems, different settings. So, I mean, Husqvarna has kind of like reestablished itself with their own brand image under the KTM leadership. And let's see where gas goes. I mean, that could possibly be a very similar situation. The bikes are rebranded, and it's just something different. The way I like to look at it is KTM is doing something for the sport by putting more bikes out there under different marks. They're offering more rides, more jobs as mechanics, more bikes on the starting line. There's just way more benefits to a company like KTM, putting bikes out under different marks than there is to say, let's go with Suzuki, who pulled out of racing entirely. So, I mean, it is what it is, guys. I know you either like it or you hate it, but at the same time, I tend to look for the positives. More bikes on the line, more rides for riders. It's definitely something to see where it goes. I can't wait to see what happens in the next couple of years with this whole KTM gas deal. And yeah, Phil, I'm reading the comments. Phil Petrus, more brands the better. Haven't had this many brands. Yeah, right on. I mean, it's crazy to see how many bikes are actually out there. And yes, you know what? KTM has had a hand in quite a few of them, but they will develop their own brand image. As many of you might have read in my posts, wouldn't it be cool to see, the Mako badge back out there again at some point? And I hate to say, KTM by Mako, but KTM by Mako. I would love to see Makos come back out and kind of, start to form their own identity again. That would be pretty cool. With that being said, like I said, it is MXGP weekend. The opener, Matterley Basin. There's a lot going on. The 250, last year's 250 champ, has moved up to the 450 class, to the MXGP class. That's Jorge Prado. I'm pretty pumped to see how he does. I'm stoked to see Jeffrey Hurling's back. He just signed another 3-year deal with KTM to stay in Europe and run the GPs. That does bum a lot of people out that wanted to see him come over here and race some Supercross. But let's face it, guys, Jeffrey Hurling's just not a Supercross rider. I think he'd probably get hurt. He would take him quite a bit of time to adjust. and I would rather see him in Europe doing what he does, going after the records, than try to come over here and just get hurt. There's too many guys just getting hurt over here that are seasoned riders on the Supercross tour. I mean, look at the current crop. You got Brock Tickle, came back one race. He made one race, and now he's out with a broken hand. Zach Osborne. Zach's out this weekend. Cracked ribs, bruised lungs, messed up wrist, practice crash. Supercross is tough. The guys say it's easier on your body than motocross, which is why a lot of the older guys don't do the outdoor series. But I can't really judge because I've never raced or ridden Supercross. That maybe once I tried it, but from what I see, these guys are getting crunched racing Supercross. One small miscalculation and it's all done. Season's over. It kind of sucks. I mean, AC with the collarbone being out. Guys like Jet Lawrence with his collarbone being out. His brother Hunter looks like he got cleared again to ride. So hopefully we'll see him before the end of the season. New guy, Pierce Brown, is coming in tomorrow. First time. I think he's on the Troy Lee KTM. Maybe somebody can update me on that if I'm wrong. It's going to be pretty cool to look at that. So, I mean, with all that, kind of drifted away from the MXGP and into the Supercross. It's Atlanta tomorrow, guys, and it's back to a regular format. So if you're playing fantasy, remember that it's regular format, and remember that the gates drop at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As Matt Lucetti just posted, Race Day Live starts at 11. So it's kind of like Supercross all day long tomorrow, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm stuck at work, but I'm sure that we'll have one of the computers going with Race Day Live and all the stuff that's going on there down in Atlanta. What you guys got? I think I'm going to learn my lesson, and I'm going to go with Eli for the win over Kenny. And Cooper's kind of banged up still from last week, so he's riding. From what I saw, he's riding. I think he'll probably end up third or fourth. I think I'm going to pick Anderson for third, Cooper for fourth, and then Justin Barsha for fifth. I mean, the field's starting to get a little bit narrowed down. But so I'm looking back through some of the comments. I'm trying to do it as we go. I am, like I said, I am live on Facebook. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm live on Facebook and I'm live on YouTube at the same time. So the YouTube people, there's 2 people watching on YouTube. You might be saying, "What the hell is he reading?" I'm live on both platforms, so I got the comments coming up on Facebook. Dave Daler, my partner in crime there from the last lap in Northeast MX, wants Works Bikes back. Dude, how cool would that be to have Works Bikes back? You see some of the footage that comes back from like 85. I think it was 85 was the last year of true Works Bikes when some of those Hondas had those, low boy gas cells that were like way down in the frame around the motor, and just phenomenal handmade works of art with their swing arms were just, I mean, these beautiful, crazy cool bikes. And then in 86, they went to the full production rules. So everybody had to run production-based bikes. Europe, they still could run factory bikes, which is why we had the old YZM Liquid Cool 500 for quite a while for the 2-strokes when the 500 GPs were going. All right, old school stuff. Unadilla Rewind sign up is open. I believe the link has been shared on our page and throughout the group. You just got to search Unadilla MX, and I'm sure that it's going to come up on their Facebook page. I have signed up. It's based on ACR format this year, I'm told. Some of the guys that went last year, they're pumped about it, but they weren't too thrilled that they had to race 50-plus-year-old guys were racing with some seriously fast kids in some of the classes. And it looks like there still might be the case. I signed up for the grass race on Friday in the 50-plus expert class on my 89KX. And then I also signed up on Saturday for the 80s class, 80s A. So I'm sure I'm going to be racing against some of the young guys out there in that particular class. And then on Sunday, I signed up for the 50-plus class where you can run any bike up to $19.99 for the 50-plus A class. From the sounds of it, we're going to have a great weekend. There's a ton of people that are saying they're going. They want to be there. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. That's in June. I believe it's June 5th, 6th, 7th. It's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anyway, if I have the days wrong. Dave Dealer Works Bikes. Yes, the YZ400 was the last one in the United States. Doug Henry got through it with a production loophole where if they were bringing something like that onto the market, they had 1 full year. Then they had to homogenize the bike and have so many bikes sold before they, as a production unit to be able to race it. So in 1997, I believe it was 97, they got through it with the one-off YZ400. Let's see, who else? The production bikes, yeah, Phil Petras, the production bikes would get better faster. They would. Well, the cool thing about, even now with the production bikes, they're so good. We've touched on this numerous times with the new bikes, with the 450s. What do you think an average Joe like most of us could do on a 450 to make it? If we made it better, could you handle it? Could you ride the bike? The top pros are detuning the bike in some cases to do it. See you, John. They're detuning the bike in some cases to make it more raceable so they can ride it better. That was not the case back in the 80s when they had full-on works bikes. I mean, you had to do everything you could do to a 250. Number one, to get that bike to last, and number two, to be competitive. So yeah, you had to have the works bikes to help you. They helped in development. The bikes got better and better. That was a steep learning curve. If you think about, for example, what a bike for you guys that have been riding for a while, and I'm going to date myself a little bit here because that was my time. A bike in 1981 compared to a bike in 1985, the difference, how competitive it was. You could probably still ride in 85, which actually a kid did a couple of years ago, qualified for Loretta Lynn's on it. You could still ride in 85 extremely hard and do well on it. Where in 81, sorry guys, that's not going to happen. You cannot ride a bike like a 1981, I'm going to say CR250 with that funky front number plate type of thing that stuck out. Think of the differences between an 81 CR250 and an 85 CR250. How much better the 85 was. So that's only a 5-year span, technically a 4-year span. I got to tell you guys, my bike is a 2016 KTM 350 SXF. All right. I could probably take that bike. I'm riding that bike as fast as anybody on that. If we were racing together 4 years ago and we were side by side, I'm probably still side by side with them on their brand new 2020. So the 4-year span, the bikes are so good now that you can ride them year after year. As long as you can make them last, you can ride them year after year. So the whole works bikes, you don't really need works bikes anymore to experiment and make production bikes better. What the guys are doing with these race bikes, with the test riders, Trey Kennard, he's a test rider for Honda. He helped set up the bikes so that Roxon and Brayton have a better platform to work from. They're finding settings on these bikes. And basically what they do is they figure out what works, and the production bike the next year sometimes is coming through with the settings that the factory guys found to make the bike perform better, but it's really not that much different of a bike. It's not like it was years ago. So bikes have changed. You could pretty much jump on any manufacturer now, change your bar position, change your lever position, and still ride the bike just as good as another one that you would jump on. Back in the early 80s, you were pretty much, if you were a Kawasaki rider, you had a hard time riding a Honda, just because of the geometry of the bikes. The same thing with, you stuck to what you knew. Not the case today. You can swoop around and jump on bikes and do very well on pretty much any kind of bike, as long as it lasts. And I mean, I know we laugh about Suzuki's being heavier and underpowered and stuff, but there's guys out there that are doing well on them. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Hondas took, I think they said there was 7 Hondas in the 450 main 2 weeks ago, and 4 Suzuki. Suzuki was the runner-up manufacturer for numbers of bikes that made the main. So the bikes really aren't that bad. Mike Zob, yes, the evolution of track design has changed to meet new tracks and vice versa. I do agree that the tracks have changed to accommodate the 4-stroke, the way that the power is delivered and everything like that. But the tracks form differently with the motorcycles that do ride over them. Southwick is different. It's different. When it was all 2 strokes back when we were racing it, then the dirt was a little bit different, but it was softer. It got a lot more whooped out. Now it gets these ruts in them. The 4-strokes dig ruts. They're just tractors, and it's crazy. It's like sections of the tracks just become slot car-ish, where before you might have a couple of ruts here, a couple of ruts there, but you always had lines you could go around. Not anymore. It seems like all the lines are just big ruts that just kind of blend together. It's a different mindset, different type of racing now than it was when most of us were going through it. But that's probably a discussion for another day with 2 or 3 opinions to talk about. Hopefully, different note. Hopefully, you guys kept some of the video that I posted today. My brother, he's into guitars. I don't know if some of you guys are into guitars. He picked up a new guitar from Sully Guitars, and it came through. Well, hey, Dave Daler's calling me. Hang on a sec, dude.
Hey, I know you're live, but I figured I'd let you know I'm back at the scene of the original crime. I'm getting takeout. It was exactly a year ago when it started.
Cut it out.
Swear to God.
So I got my partner in crime, Dave Daler, on the phone, and if you guys had caught it a year ago, the way that it was set up was I was supposed to go live on Craig Johnson's show on a Monday morning, and I needed to practice because I hated being on camera. I didn't like being in front of people, so I went live and I was stumbling. I was freezing up, choking on my words, and Dave's like, "Bring me on, bring me on."
Stumbling. You couldn't even talk.
I couldn't talk. I had to delete my video a couple of times, and so I brought Dave on, and that's the episode that became what we affectionately called the pilot.
That's right. Where's my baseball? Where's my dirt bike?
Where is my dirt bike? I had those headphones on. That was 1 year ago today, huh?
Just about. It was a year ago. It was on the 6th, I think. So, it was right around now. No, it was a year ago now, and then the first episode was the 6th.
That's right.
So I just had to call in. I figured, what the hell.
So it was
the other thing too. I've got a great tip for everybody. So I just booked travel to California, as you know.
Yep.
And I noticed this morning my air did the same way. I just booked, dropped less than half the cost. I called JetBlue and they gave me back $550.
Really? They refunded you your ticket price?
Pay attention to flights because you just never know what's going to happen. Yep.
That's actually some solid advice right now, because with Daytona coming up, there's a ton of people that I'm sure that are going to be jumping on airplanes and heading down to Daytona from our area.
That's right. My flight went from $950 down to $450.
That's crazy. Where are you flying into?
Yep.
San Diego?
San Diego again, yeah. Flying into San Diego on Thursday. So, yep.
Dude, you couldn't pay me enough to fly into LA. That's just crazy.
No way. I can fly into LA for like $100 less, but the traffic isn't worth it. You'll sit in traffic for 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Absolutely insane.
And you get
the other tip I have for everybody: anybody go on a buy a flux capacity yet? That's what I want to ask the viewers. Anybody ordered one yet?
All right, so Dave stumbled onto something last night. O'Reilly Auto Parts, and I know that he shared the video out to the YouTube channel. You could see it on Northeast MX on YouTube and on Facebook, where he shows you how to go on and order your very own flux capacitor from O'Reilly Auto Parts. I don't know. I think a couple of our bikes might need them.
Is that ingenious? Don't you think about that? I mean, O'Reilly Auto Parts, obviously it's just a joke, but what a great way to drive traffic to your website, right?
It is. It is. I mean, and it's kind of cool that they come up with something like that. So
Yep. And a friend of mine told me actually Landon Davis told me that's been out there for quite a few years. Someone sent him a link and he thought it was a joke.
it has.
So surprisingly, I had no idea about it until I found it today, and I went, "That's hilarious."
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Well, listen. This time around, I'm going to go eat my dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about to get cold.
Yeah, your wife will kick your butt if it's cold this time.
She was my crazy Italian wife. I love her. Right.
Bring her flowers.
Friday show. I will call you next week. Maybe we'll do a Tuesday remote. We'll see what's going on with my schedule.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Have a good flight. Make your picks early. Picks early this week. Picks early.
You might think so, man. I'm with that Chocharula guy. I'm like a Canadian place.
Yeah. Go eat your food.
You know what? I'm having a redo my picks for me this week.
All right. We just copy what she has.
All right. I'll let you go.
All right, dude. Later. All right. So that was Dave Taylor. It's a great tip for anybody who's flying in the next couple of weeks, maybe down to Daytona or wherever. Double check your airfare. He flies JetBlue and he just booked a trip to California. So he just double checked the fares today. They were less. Called JetBlue. They actually refunded him the difference. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty damn cool. Scrolling back through the comments a little bit, Michael says to me, "You still thinking of changing brands?" Yes, I want to get to go green all the way. I mean, I'm a Cowie guy at heart. I'm from the old school, so I'm diehard. I bleed green, and I love my KTM 350. It is 4 years old. It's a very fun bike to ride, but should I get another modern bike, I'm going to go with a KX 450 just because I like the Cowies. I also have been thinking since I signed up for Dilla Rewind that there's a very good possibility that I may end up getting rid of that 350 and looking for like a 1999 KX 250 and going through that. So I have my 89 and my 99, both still eligible for ACR classes, and I think that would be kind of fun because that's more the extent of my riding now is on the older bikes as opposed to the new ones. That mountain bikes, some of the stuff. I might even play some golf this year. Change it up a little bit. But we will get out and we will do some riding and have some fun. That's for sure. Seeing Cirillo the lawn dart. Well, I can't argue with it. Jet Lawrence did the same thing. It's tough. I think the Supercross tracks, they're tough. I don't envy those guys. I know they practice, they work hard at it, and they're out there all the time, but I really do not envy those guys on the Supercross tracks. Let's see. Okay, so before we wrap it up today, I know if you guys watched the last lap, I got a lot of shit about it because the guys started, giving me a hard time, but I am now an Acavie CBD brand affiliate. So if you guys like it, if you've tried CBD or you want to try it, they have a bunch of different products. Go on their website, acavie.com. And when you check out, use the coupon code It's Jim's Fault. Sorry, John Levesque. I know you want royalties on that, but it's Jim's Fault, and they get you 25% discount. Tracks open. Wareham advertised that they're going to be open this weekend. I know it's going to be cold, so double check their Facebook page before you guys head out and head down that way. A lot of people are headed south. There's a lot of guys in Florida that are riding, South Carolina, Georgia. I see Geoff is down that way. I think he was at Bostwick today. He made his way down all week. He's doing pretty much a tour of the southern tracks. So there's posts out there. I see a couple people out west in California. If you guys are riding, more power to you. I would love to join you guys at some point. I think that next year, like I said, my plans are going to be to go down and do that Daytona Vintage Supercross and some of the Florida stuff, and then a day in the dirt, East Coast. I think that would be a lot of fun. So if you guys are down south or out west or somewhere just plain warm riding, have fun. Have fun, man. It's really good. I mean, it's what we do. We just love doing it. We enjoy it. Enjoy the time on two wheels. As I wrote this morning in my blog, enjoy the ride. For me at this point now, it's about people and the experiences. I don't really care about, pushing harder to get faster or anything like that. That time of my racing career is done. those of you guys that are still doing it, more power to you. I have nothing but complete respect for the guys that are pushing hard and trying to get better and better. Um, but make sure you pay attention to the people around you, because those are the people that'll be there. Those are the ones that in 10 years, 20 years down the road, you'll be looking back, and there's a very good chance that they're still going to be part of your circle of friends. I had a great conversation last night during our mountain bike ride with Luke McNeil, and we were talking about how people we rode with and hung out with as kids, 30, 40 years ago, are still the same people that are in your corner and that you hang out with, that you talk to. Those are the ones that, you call all the time. Those are the ones that you talk to. It's really cool how just a bond over motorcycles, and maybe let's call it a bond over two wheels, can just keep everybody together. That was the idea and the thought process behind my blog this morning. And that's pretty much the basis of our whole group and the success we've had with Old Men That Used to Race. It's all about people, experiences, friends, family. It's the bond that connects us all. So hopefully you guys got a chance to check that out. Michael, what's my feeling on Mako? Dude, in the 1980s, Mako was the bike. For me, that 1981 Mako 490 is like the holy grail of motorcycles. The year before they went to single shocks, just those bikes, the big friggin' radial fin heads, just the sound that those bikes make, they snorted when they rode. When you heard them, with guys riding them, they were just, that was it, man. Those big cone-shaped hubs, those bikes were just, it was just, unbelievable. That, like I said, that's my holy grail, an 81 Mako 490. I don't think I would want to own one and have to try to find parts for it, but every time I see those bikes, it does nothing but bring back great memories and makes me smile. Those were the bikes that when I first really started watching motocross racers, especially close to my house, they were riding Makos, Cliff Cycles, right up the street from my house. I actually ended up going to work for Cliffs for a little bit. He sold Makos. So the guys in the shop raced them. And in turn, they were at the practice track that was half a mile through the woods from my house. So that was my experiences. I saw Makos before I saw anything else. And those bikes, I love those bikes. I think they're phenomenal. I would love to see the Mako badge make some sort of a comeback. I know that there's a couple of things out there. It shows the 700cc two-stroke and, kind of crazy, but I would love to see, even if KTM were able to, buy the rights to that and put some bikes out. They have two strokes, maybe make a whole bunch of, it would be cool to see a line like Mako be kind of rebranded and almost like reinvented and be nothing but two strokes. That's what they were known for. I don't know. Maybe they made a four-stroke way back when, but I think it would be cool to see that happen. Bring the old names back and have that like kind of niche to it. And left-handed start. Anthony, what's up, buddy? How are you doing? Happy Friday. A guy that has 60 of them. Holy cow. I know John Slater has one. He was working on it. Yeah, those ads in MXA and dirt bikes, so cool for those Makos. I've done it a couple times. I've put a post out with what was your favorite ad over the years. How about we do that? How about we start a challenge? Let's get you guys to start searching the internet, digging through stuff, and posting what your favorite motocross ad was. I have mine. Mine was the product line for the 1986 Kawasaki KXs. No surprise, Kawasaki. Jim Kawasaki. I see a tone here. With the guy riding the KX 125 at Washougal backwards, and it had the +8 sign. That was my favorite ad. What was yours? Why don't you guys start checking that out? I want to see some of that. Maybe I'll post mine up later and just ask for the thread and see what we can get going. That was a fun one. We've had a couple with your favorite retro stickers over the years. John Levesque has a ton of stickers. He posted a bunch last year before. Those are cool. Those seem to be a big interest generator. This is the time of the season when everybody starts thinking about riding and racing again. and to see some of that stuff that triggers those memories is really, really cool. It makes you want to, get back out, get back on a bike, and just go have some fun. So let's see some of those cool posts come up. As of that, I really don't have anything, much more. We're at 32 minutes now. I want to try to keep the um, Friday night sessions to half an hour, 45 minutes. So, all you guys that checked in, I truly appreciate it. I think I had 16, 17, maybe upwards of 20 people at one time watching, and I'm sure that we'll reach a whole bunch more. So it's easier sometimes for me to kind of go live and talk about what's going on than it is to try to write about it. Um, but anyway, check out the videos. Check out my YouTube channel. It's Old Men That Used to Race. I posted there's some pretty cool stuff on there, but the last video was today. It was my brother unboxing his new Sully guitars. He could talk about it. It's some purple crazy guitar, and he rips up a little bit on it. It's pretty cool. That one's on there. Dave Dealer has some on Northeast MX. Any of that stuff. If you guys can subscribe to our YouTube channels, follow us on our Instagram platforms, all that stuff is free and it helps us out. We don't make money doing it, and I'm not really looking to make any money doing this, but it unlocks different features that lets me do cooler things with editing and connecting links and doing different stuff that hopefully can enhance whatever I can post to make it a little bit better for you guys and generate some more interest. So anybody with ideas, throw them out there. You want to come on, you want to talk, you want to, come on the phone with me on Friday nights. That's cool. You want to come on to the last lap with me and Dave. We can work that out. That's on Tuesdays at 8. As he said, we might not be going on this week because he's in California, but it is what it is. We'll figure it out. We'll get it going. Get your picks in. Fantasy Supercross, early round tomorrow, Atlanta, Georgia. MXGP over in Great Britain. Awesome track, Madley Basin. That's going to be a fantastic event. It's going to be a pretty much all dirt bike weekend, which is going to be freaking awesome. On that note, guys, have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. Thank you all for all the support and encouragement and for watching us talk, for watching me talk. I'm just an old racer, speaking my mind. All right, guys. Thank you.